This edition of River Tales is dedicated to the Educator of the Year.
River Tales is sponsored by Southeast Missouri Hospital.
My name is Sean Brooks. I teach at Alma Schroeder, and I teach 4th grade there, and I've been there for, I guess, about 3 years now. I taught 3 years at Clifford Elementary here in town, and I taught a couple years back in Colorado at Hudson Elementary. Taught 2nd grade there. I like 4th grade. They're just old enough that you can give them something to do, and they can do it. They have that drive in them. You don't have to help them along on most things. They're eager to learn. They're not to the point where their attitudes are coming into play yet. I'll leave that for the middle school and junior high. It's just kind of that good transitional age where they're not too small that they can't do anything on their own, and they're not too old where they don't want to do it. So right in between there. I love that. Every single day, it doesn't matter what kid it is, the background they come from, the home life they come from, you know, physically things wrong with them, mentally things that are wrong with them. I mean, you get the whole gamut in education. And trying to mold that all together so you have a cohesive classroom or even a cohesive school, that is the biggest challenge. Taking, you know, kids from all parts of life, bringing them together and have them be part of a team in the classroom and help them work together, you know, 9 months out of the year. That is, wow, challenging. Every day is a new day at teaching. It doesn't matter what's going on. Kids will come in and they'll have new problems and new exciting things to tell you, and it's like a new page every single day in the classroom. You might go in and be thinking about things that happened yesterday with a student, they forgot about it, and it's on to something else. And that's what kind of keeps me going every single day, because I know it's a new day, and these kids are so young. You know, I have 4th graders, 9 and 10-year-olds, and they always come with fascinating stories. Giving them a problem to do, giving them a project to do, and seeing them work their hardest on it, and seeing that smile and joy come on their face when they get it completed. Even if it's something that's extremely hard, they've worked really hard at it, when they complete it, you can see the smile going on in their face. And they're so proud of what they've done. And it just makes me exciting that, you know, I just helped them, lead them in that direction, and it was all that they did. But just that rewarding thing of just seeing them succeed in life and grow up. Even at a young age, you can see them grow up so much in just a year. First of all, I want to thank my family for supporting me in my endeavor. I know it wasn't easy for my mom and dad. You know, going through college, think I want to be, you know, do one thing and then, you know, switching everything up. So I want to make sure that they know that I appreciate that they were behind me. I want to thank my wife as well for just being there, you know, with me and for me through those tough times. She's my ear whenever I go home. If I'm having a bad day, I know I can trust her to be that ear for me if I need to get something out. I want to thank the 2 principals that I've worked under here, Sydney Herbst and Ruth Ann Orr. I don't think I could work for any, you know, better principals. With the, you know, few that I've worked with, I mean they are wonderful. I feel very grateful for the Chamber to have this award out there for educators. It's a cool honor to have. It really is. I know everybody keeps on saying, you know, congratulations, good job, and I just feel I'm doing what I'm doing. So I appreciate the Chamber, you know, having that out there and giving, you know, some educators just a little bit of recognition. That's really cool. I mean, we're not out there to get all the hoopla and all the recognition out there. We just do it because we love what we do. But last but not least, I mean, I thank God Almighty every single day for allowing me to be here, to do the thing that I love. I mean, some kids that I come across every single day, I mean, this is their safe place at school. And for me just to see that with those kids, I mean, some of their home lives it's not good. And for some of those kids, they might not have a mom to go home to. They might not have a dad to go home to. And just for me to be there for them and for them to trust in me, I thank God every single day for that.
My name is Yvonne Campbell, and I teach at Jefferson Elementary, and I teach kindergarten. The progress that you see from the beginning of the year to the end of the year is astronomical. You have kids coming in who can't write their name, and then when they leave kindergarten, they are writing sentences. So it's like, wow, it's fun. So when you do something, you can figure out the most fun way to teach it so that the kids will learn it, but also then remember it. And every day is different. And what worked one day, whether it be something discipline or something that you're teaching, doesn't always necessarily then work the following day, so you are constantly kept on your toes. I love working with kids. I really do, and I like to be able to pass on something that I've learned to someone else, and children seem to appreciate that so much more than adults. They probably teach me just as much as I teach them. They will throw something at me which makes me think, oh, I need to do this, or I need to change and do that. The diversity is what makes it so very challenging. You cannot teach to the middle of the road. So your activities or whatever you're presenting has to be where it reaches those who are already thinking beyond that to those who are, I have no idea what you're talking about, Mrs. Campbell. I want to start off by thanking my parents, my mom and dad, because if it weren't for them, I probably wouldn't be where I am now. They encouraged me and pushed me and made sure that regardless of what field I chose to go into, that it was something that I would love to do. I want to thank all the teachers that I had, and even those, because I'm thinking of something that my daughter had said, even those teachers that are like boring and not quite as exciting as some other teachers. They have the monotone voices, or they don't have the extra flair to make their subject exciting to someone who isn't excited about it, because then it taught me what to do to try and find a way, even if I'm not excited about it, because if I'm not, I know that the people that I'm trying to teach aren't going to be excited. So I want to thank all my teachers. Definitely my husband for supporting me and putting up with the fact that when I go home, it's very hard to turn off the teacher in me, and I forget that he's a grown-up and an equal, and I say the same kinds of things that I'm saying at school to him. And my own children as well, because that's even more difficult to do, to turn off the teacher in me and just be a mom during the school year. It's really tough to do that. I want to thank my coworkers for putting up with me, especially my kindergarten team that I work with. I have 3 other teachers who are my colleagues in kindergarten, Sarah Baker, Joni Hiring, and Lisa Maxfield, and they are wonderful. And we all kind of feed off one another and get ideas from one another. It is the best place in the world to work. I want to thank my principal as well, Mr. Cook, for allowing me to have some freedom in the classroom so that I can teach according to my personality and my style, but still making sure that I meet all the objectives for kindergarten. All the parents of current students and past students, because sometimes even parents, whether it's something positive that they say or even something negative, I can still learn from that. and then grow as a teacher. And I also want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for choosing me as one of the recipients for this award. It makes it feel that what I do, even though I'm getting personal satisfaction out of what I do, it's nice to be able to get satisfaction that is outside of the school setting from other people as well. So I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for choosing me as a recipient of this award. I love it. It's challenging. You have a very diverse classroom. You have children who come from well-to-do backgrounds and those children who don't. You have children who know all of their letters and sounds and numbers and can count to 50 or higher when they come in, and then you have those kids who, as I said earlier, can't write their name. I love the challenges that it gives me. I love what I do.
My name is Sue Cook, and I'm a guidance counselor. I teach at Clifford School this school year. Previously, I taught at Clifford and Franklin both. Oh gosh, I always wanted to be a counselor from when I was in high school, and it took me a while to get it done because you get sidetracked having a life, you know. So, but I graduated from school and was a teacher first, and then worked my way back to get the hours to be a counselor. I think I wanted to do it because I thought that they were really needed and valuable. Like the counselors I had in high school, I keep thinking about how pitiful they were. And I still kind of feel guilty because I got sidetracked into elementary school and I never made it to the high school. So I don't really know if I could make a difference in high school or not. But that was what I thought, that gosh, it would be so easy, you could make a difference, just small differences. I think that I just had this sense that that there's kids that could use help, you know, and that it didn't take a big deal, that it just, if there was just somebody that could listen, somebody that could offer our ideas, someone that could be helpful in some way. It just seemed to me that there were so many kids that were needing something. And our kids in elementary level have all the life challenges that you have at high school. They you know, have families that have stressors of illnesses and alcoholism and all the other kinds of things that are happening in the world are happening to them. And their families have the anxiety of the economics that are going on, and so the kids feel it too. But most importantly, we want to teach them how to have skills, you know, how they can get along and make friends and to be peaceful, and to teach them that they can make mistakes and learn from them. And so I never thought I'd be an elementary school counselor. I always thought I'd be high school. And so I've been surprised, but totally enjoy the kids. They're very fun. The most challenging part of my job is when you don't believe you can do anything that's helpful. And you know, there's always those cases that kids need something and you're not able to make the connections for them or help them, and that's really hard. It's hard to see some of the things that you see in my field and know that kids are going home to that every day, and that you're not able to make a good change. You start off with, I have kids almost every morning, first thing, because the days are so busy for children that I see kids before their school day starts. So I'll have breakfast with them to see how to once a week. I have a different child each day, and we have breakfast and, you know, get them on the right track or whatever. And then I have guidance lessons that I teach, and besides that I have groups that I facilitate, and we have an intervention group that we're doing now with second graders. All the second graders at Clifford School are having an opportunity to have some special interventions for either math or reading, and that's exciting. So I've taken a group and I do a math intervention, and I have recess duty, and it's busy, you know. And besides that, there's kids that put notes in my box, and I pull them out and talk to them, and then help with whatever needs helping with. I consult with teachers and parents, and, you know, just goes fast. The day goes fast. My kids and my husband and my family, you always love them and appreciate them, and Yes, so I would like to thank them as well. You know, I feel really uncomfortable with this honor because I know that there's so many deserving people, and so I tried to get my mind around it. And I appreciate so much the teacher that nominated me. That was so kind of her to take that time and that effort to do that. And that was Barb Egbert. But I appreciate all the people who have taught me along the way and have given me ideas. So I thought that it isn't really, this isn't about me, it's about everybody. And so I get that the Chamber is so kind and so generous that they want to value educators. And so in order to do that, they can't value every educator. So they said this year, one of the educators will be Sue Cook. And so it's me for everybody else, I know. And so I appreciate that. And so I thank everyone that has given me that opportunity to be the representative this year, because it's not something that I get for myself, because, oh gosh, I work with wonderful teachers and principals and wonderful psychological examiners and wonderful people that care about kids, cooking staff, custodians. We're very lucky. It's just so fun, the things they say and they do. You walk out to a playground to do recess duty and the kids come and hug you, and it's not me, it's like they do that for everybody, and it's like so fun to see. I just love hearing my principal make her announcements in the morning, and the kids being excited about whatever's happening. It's just a fun place to be. The artwork in the halls, you know, all of it is great. I can't think of a better place to be.
I am Patricia Heiser. I teach at St. Vincent de Paul School here in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. And at the present time, I'm teaching grades 6th, 7th, and 8th social studies in the junior high. I like the kids most of all. I am a member of the parish. My children went to St. Vincent, so I'm very vested in the school. Just being able to talk about values and morals with the children and our faith, and trying to instill in them characteristics that they're going to need as they go on into their high school years and adulthood. I just like being there, and I like the fact that I've been able to do different things at the school. The social studies, this is my 4th year. I had taught years ago in the junior high social studies and then the reading program, and then I went to 5th grade to teach for quite a few years, and then the opportunity came back to go back to junior high, which is probably where my heart is. They're full of energy, they're full of questions, they're full of mischief. No day is ever dull. Some days you don't know if you're getting through, and at the oddest times somebody will say something to you that you know you've gotten through. For instance, there was one day after school last week, I was standing out on dismissal duty and trying to shoo the kids to their cars so we could go in and get our work started. And this one 7th grader came up and said, "Mrs. H, you know, if you would not explain every clause of that Constitution, I wouldn't understand a thing that was going on." And this was a young man that didn't seem to care at all the last couple days in class, but he did. And those are the days that you have to remember, and those are the times that become important. The longer you stay with the students, especially junior high students, they keep you young because they're so full of life and energy, and they're so full of questions, and they're so full of, I don't know, just vim and vigor, and you have to stay with them, or you're lost, you're run over with junior high students. Well, I have a lot of people to thank for the support I've had over the years. First, I'd like to thank the Cape Girardeau Chamber of Commerce for sponsoring the Educator of the Year Award, and for all the members of the Chamber who support area schools through their efforts throughout the years. I'm sure that the schools appreciate that help. I want to thank my family, because they're the ones who have helped with the burden of this job. For their patience, their understanding, and their support for the hours that I sit at the kitchen table every night doing school stuff and supporting me in that. My colleagues many of them have inspired me to do the better job of teaching, sharing of information. I want to thank the parents and the students who have nominated me and for their support over the years, especially for my students. I feel like I have a very good rapport with my students, and I think that it shows in our classwork that we do. I want to thank them for their efforts as well. I want to thank God for giving me this talent to teach and the patience that I need on certain days to handle 125 junior high students. The job at St. Vincent's was supposed to have been for 1 year. I was taking someone's maternity leave because I had quit the public school system to stay home with my children, which I was very happy with. And they could not find someone to do junior high social studies. So I turned it down a couple times, and I finally said, okay, 1 year. I'll do it for 1 year. Well, the next year they needed someone for a 1-year job again. And I said, okay, 1 more year. Well, 1 year has now turned into my 25th year. So I guess it was meant to be.
I'm Jeremy Barnes. I obviously teach at Southeast Missouri State University. I teach in the Department of Health, Human Performance and Recreation. And I teach predominantly in the health management degree program. We have 2 options within that program, exercise science and health promotion. So, well, I think a little bit is a misnomer actually, because when people see the title health management, they think it's perhaps some type of degree where we prepare people to be healthcare administrators. And I really think that there's the demand because, you know, the population is aging, there's more and more chronic disease. We talk about the hypokinetic diseases these days, the diseases, you know, that you can basically say are caused by lack of physical activity or very low physical activity. So there's a big demand for students who have the knowledge and the expertise to perform fitness assessments and to prescribe exercise programs and hopefully to try and motivate the public to become more physically active. So. And that's just, you know, one aspect of our major. There's a lot of other things that our graduates do. They don't just work on, you know, the kind of exercise science and the fitness side of things. Some of them will work in smoking cessation, some of them will work in stress management, some will put together health fairs. So there's a healthy demand for people with the preparation that we can give them. I started at Southeast in 1996, and just in terms of student numbers, I think we have double the majors we used to have. There's a lot of interest in our programs. We're seeing a lot more of our students go into graduate programs. Some are completing doctorates now. So we just see, you know, that the health field is evolving so rapidly. Just a lot of change. To be honest, I always thought I would end up managing or coordinating or running or directing, whatever term you'd like to use, a big corporation's fitness and wellness program or the health promotion program. And by chance, a colleague of mine had taught here in the past and said, you know, you should really look at teaching at the university level. There's a job open at Southeast, and I wasn't even looking for those types of positions. And, you know, one thing led to another. I applied for the job, and I was hired, and I've loved it ever since I've been here. I just love it. It's constantly a challenge. Things are evolving rapidly. We don't deal with discipline issues, or if we do, they're on a pretty rare basis. I volunteer with a colleague of mine over at Franklin Elementary School, 2nd grade in the fall semester, and then we teach 4th grade in the spring semester. And I just realize how fortunate and lucky I am to not deal with some of the issues that the classroom teachers, you know, teaching those grades have to deal with. I really think there's 3 groups of people I'd like to thank. The first, and you know, probably foremost, is my family. You know, particularly my parents. Neither of my parents went to college, but they instilled in, you know, myself and my brother and sister the importance of education, and I think sacrificed a lot so we could, you know, go to, you know, good colleges, and they've really been supportive of everything we've done, you know, post undergrad. Then also, you know, my family, my wife, I think I spent, you know, a lot of time devoted to my career. In the early years of our marriage, it wasn't uncommon that I would work 60 or 70 hours a week, and hopefully, well, I know now those weeks are far less than they used to be, although there's still the odd week I have to work that many hours. My young children, I really want to thank them. They're very supportive of what I do, and I hope and think they're kind of proud of their dad in many ways. So, my family's been very important to me and very supportive. I'd like to thank them. Second group of people are really all the students I've worked with, both here at Southeast over the years. I'm still in regular touch with many of those students, and I'd regard them as colleagues now and friends in many cases also. And then the third group is really my colleagues here at Southeast, and also a few of the colleagues I've made from around the country. But mainly here at Southeast. I'm really fortunate to have great faculty I work with in my department, particularly the faculty that I work most closely with in health management: Dr. Ron Williams, Dr. Mark Langenfeld, Dr. Craig Elder. These people have been great. Dr. Colin Mulholland, who's relatively new, and Dr. Shawani Howard, who also, both relatively new. But these people have really been instrumental. Dr. Leone, who teaches recreation, has been very instrumental in being a great mentor to me and kind of source of support in many ways. And then, the administrators I work for, Dr. Joe Pujol, who's also a health management faculty, is a wonderful administrator to work for, and really allows me to do what I'm passionate about, which is really the teaching. I have a wonderful dean, Dr. Loretta Prater. And then the other thing is, there's just so many great people I've had the pleasure of working with around campus. People who you're not necessarily, in many cases, faculty members, but may work, for example, for rec services or at the library or campus life, or many other different aspects of the university, who've also really allowed me to I think, kind of flourish and become successful and really happy teaching here at Southeast. I always tell my students, as a health teacher, I'd rather live to be 90, very healthy, very active, not dependent on others to care for me, and then die of a massive heart attack and not cause anyone any great concern, rather than spending the last 10, 15 years of my life in a nursing home, even if that means I can live to be 95. So I realize now, I turn 50 next year, that happiness is really the key to everything. And it's not so much how much money you make, it's whether you love what you do and whether you're happy that's really the key to life. So, and whether at the end of the day, you can look back and think, hey, I've actually been an influence on people and I've served society well.
Each month, we will take this journey where there are many places to go. There are many interesting people to meet, and so many new things to see. Join us again on River Tales.